What's happening, everyone? It is Thursday night. It is Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks. We are ready to rock and roll. Let's do audio check. Who's got audio? Let's see who's in the house. We got some people over on Facebook. We got 21 people already here. Hope you guys enjoyed the slideshow. I kind of like having that on there for the first few minutes before we go live and get everyone settled in. I think it's kind of cool. And I like looking at it. It's like an hour feed of work I've done. I used to play loops at shows, so it's cool to just, like, remember half the stuff we did all those years back. So let's see who we got. Let's see. What do we got here? Hold on a second. Look at my Facebook thing. It's giving me a damn closed caption. I don't want closed caption. That's comments off. Facebook's such a pain because I can't see comments there. I guess we'll do that. All right. So who we got here? We got Simon Carter. We got Skip Baker. We got Martial Artistry Carl. London Pen Company Joe Bingham. Mr. Leahy. All right. And big boy staying up way past my bedtime. Hey, cool, man. Good to see you, Simon. Thanks for all the work. Thanks for all the comments. Let me show you what we got going tonight. So I've been posting. I was in the booth past 2 nights, and I did the red American flag today. So I started that project. I designed it yesterday. Got the vectors all set and sized, the lettering, cut it, and then this morning I started painting it, and this afternoon cleared it. So busy day, and I did the skull one yesterday. Got that done. I finished up at 5, came home, made dinner. Me and Kaylee 8 came up and said, "What am I going to paint?" So I figured out what I'm going to paint, and it is going to be this. I'm going to have Kaylee, she can bring up the reference image, and this is what we're going to be painting tonight. So if you remember back in 2018, I was doing my sketch a day, which every day I did a new sketch, and this was one of them. This was XVII, so that's 17. So that was the 17th day, so it was January. 17th one I did in 2018. So I have this whole pile of sketches. So I pulled one out and wanted to do Koi, and I figured, what the heck? So this is what I did, and this is what I got going on. Let's bring it up here. So, it's kind of a how-to. This is not something I'm putting online as far as, to purchase. It's just, this is one of my originals, one of my works. I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I do it and how you could take one of your sketches, one of your drawings, and go from pencil to paint, okay? I think it's going to be very similar to last week's when I did the tattoo-style skull. Honestly, I just started watching you today. Oh, man, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for popping in, checking it out. Glad you like the work. Welcome to your first live feed here. There's a lot of good people here, a lot of good artists, and we're just going to go through and do a little fun. So let's talk about how you would approach this. I get this question a lot. I'm avoiding doing any plotter or vector work. We did that last week. This is just straight up paper. Okay, so this is a sketch I had the computer. Well, a sketch I drew. I took a photo of it. And I sized it up to the size of my panel. This is a 10 by 12 inch panel. And I just printed it out. So, and what I did is I took just, soft charcoal, like, soft pencil. I think it was a 2B pencil. And I just, rubbed the whole back side of the paper. And we're going to transfer the image. And I've already transferred most of the image. I just need a pen. Kaylee, is there a pen right there? Is that a pen?
That's
No.
your Apple pencil.
I need a regular. Oh, I got it. So when I do this, or you can use Sorel paper. Oh, let me pop in over onto Facebook quick. We got a bunch of people watching over on Facebook. Hope you guys on Facebook click that link, get over to the YouTube side. I can see the comments a lot better. They scroll weird on my screen while I'm doing live, so I can't quite see everyone, so I might miss you on Facebook. So pop over there. All right. So this is what I did. I transferred the image. And I always use a ballpoint pen, whether you're using Sorel transfer paper or you make your own like I did. This I find is the best way to do it. So I've already done some of it. So I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to transfer the image. So I'm just using my pencil. Transferring some of the details, not all the details. And I'm going to show you how to do this without a plotter. Remember, if you were plotting this just like last week, you would kind of do the same thing. Just wherever I'm putting these pen lines, you would do cut lines in Adobe Illustrator or your respective program, whatever you're using. For those who don't know, I've done quite a few kois. Actually, one of my first, I think it was my first article in Airbrush Action magazine was a koi. And I still have that original here. It's one of my favorite kind of paintings I did in the magazine. And, you know, the kois kind of became a signature piece. And this is, you know, one of my original styles. And it's why I don't really do like a how-to sellable on this one, because it's kind of my thing. And I want to kind of keep it that way. So what I did, and it's kind of hard to see. Let me come into here. Hold on. A little bigger. So you can see the pencil transferred really nice. Oh, yeah, so Simon, hello, Miss McKay. Thanks for helping out as always. Really appreciate it. That's to you, kid. Aunt Karen's on Facebook. Hi, Auntie. So, this is what I did. So, just to recap, we got paper. I did the charcoal in the back. Well, hard, you know, soft pencil, not charcoal. And taped it to the board, and I just transferred the image on. So now it's there. So if I was going to just freehand it, I could just go. I could just start painting right now. I do want to keep it a little tight. So what I'm going to do is a trick I want to show you. And I do it this way specifically because I like to have the pencil line work already there, as opposed to on top of the mask. Honey Blue, thank you very, very much for your always generous super chat. So, it's always appreciated, and you know that. Thank you very much. So, what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use the gold mask. Now, gold mask, you don't have a plotter, this stuff is awesome material. It actually comes in, like 9x12 sheets as well. Like, so for crickets and cameos, you can get 9x sheets of this stuff. Actually, if Kayla can run over that box and she can get them. So, or you can use transfer tape or clear things. I'm going to sheet tape this whole thing. And you're going to be able to see the pencil lines through the material. And as I cut and pick, the pencil lines will stay there, and I kind of want that. If you wanted to do it the other way, you could put the gold mask on first, then transfer the image on top of the gold mask before you hand cut. I'm doing it this way. This is the actual gold mask. It's available in 9x12 sheets. They do this for the gold, the blue, and the green. And these will run through your cameos, your crickets, or your craft cutters, as well as your plotters and things like that. So these are really cool that you can get. All right, so I'm just gonna. Which would you prefer? If I was to choose between the cameo or the cricket, I would get the cameo. I cannot stand the Cricut software. It's so locked down, and they make everything very cumbersome. I spent like 3 hours the other day helping someone with a file, because what Cricut decides to do when I upload my image, when you put it in there, they try to fill all the shapes with the color, in this case black, and then you can't see any of the artwork, and then you got to switch layers. It's just very cumbersome. Like an image that didn't have color, they're trying to fill color with. That was one thing, and I don't like their interface, and I don't like how it's locked down so much. So I'm not a big fan of the Cricut. They work great. They're a great machine. I'm not a fan of their interface. The Cameo, I love. It works great. The software is super easy to use. It works very good with all my Illustrator software and everything. It just talks to it really well. So that's what I would go with. So, which membership costs more? For Cricut, there's no membership on Cameo or Cricut. Cricut may have some type of thing. I don't know, but I know you don't need it because I just downloaded this software for free to you know, to troubleshoot some of my files to make sure they all work right. Alright, so I'm just gonna make this nice and clean. So again, this is the FBS Gold Mask. So the gold mask I love for this, because here's what's nice about the gold mask. A, it's the thinnest mask material on the market. It is the same as the KUTG gold tape, the regular tape. If you're used to plotting with vinyl, the first time you plot with this stuff, it's like really weird. You're like, oh my god, it makes a lot of noise because it's paper you're cutting through. But what's nice about it for freestyle stuff, it cuts really simple. Like it just barely any blade pressure. So now what I'm going to do is, just like if I was plotting, I'm going to go through, I'm going to cut all my stuff. And I'm going to try to stay on the line like I didn't on that one. So I'm going to have a double cut. I'm going to try to make that high later. And I don't cut, you know, so much everything, but I do quite a bit. Cricut charges $10 a month. Oh yeah, see, I don't know what they charge that for a month. I don't have. Maybe that's what they design, you know, software and stuff. And that's why I don't like them, because you just bought a machine. You don't need a monthly membership to use their machine. You know, to use their stuff. I'm not a fan of how they did it. And, you know, originally when they first came out, you had to like get everything on cartridges, and you know, from then on, I was never a big fan of how they did their system. So, but that's just me. Do me a favor, because I'm looking down a lot. Look at questions and comments. So I'm just taking my razor blade. I'm just scrolling through, and I'm cutting everything. You can cut and then paint and cut and paint. You know, I'm just going to go through and just do all the cuts once, because that way I can see all my lines. If I wait till later, everything I cut is going to, you know, as I start painting, I'm going to start losing my lines, and I don't want to do that. And while I'm doing that, Kaylee will keep an eye on the comments.
Apparently, Cricut charges $10 a month to access their Circuit Projects library, but you can use it without it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. They have like a library and stuff, and you can use their clip art and stuff. It's all right. I mean, you know, as far as airbrush artists and what we would use it for in our field, you're not gonna find anything real super useful there. Like if you're doing crafty cuts for fairs and some stuff like that, I think you'll find a lot, and gift ideas and things like that, you know, holiday ideas. I think you'll be fine, but you're not, for what we do, I don't think you're gonna get a lot out of it. So now, like, I could have plotted this, or like I said, I could have just freehanded it. Plotting, I would have brought this in Adobe Illustrator the same way I did the skull one, and I would have just put all these vector lines exactly where I'm putting them now. You know, wherever I would cut it. And that's why I showed you guys last week, which was kind of stupid, but it worked. Trying to do two paintings at once. You know, one paper, one plot. You saw that there's no difference. There's a pro and a con to it, but there's no difference in, you know, like where you cut and where you put things. Oh, I forgot. Let's erase one of the whiskers. So I want to try to put that back. And I'm going to do that one on top. It's alright. There it is. Nice. Easy. But yeah, so like I said, there's very little difference, but there is a noticeable difference in, you know, paper cut to freehand. Like, your edges are a little softer, they're not as exact. You know, I'm not even going to cut that, because I'm going to freehand that stuff inside here. Actually, I'm just going to cut the center of the eye, like the actual eyeball itself, not all these little line details. So those are just going to be free-handed in. But I just want to keep the eyeball clean up until the end. Almost got everything. It doesn't take long to do this. And like even when I design it in the computer, it probably takes me the same amount of time as it took me to do this to do it in the computer. Once you get really good at Illustrator and you understand how to use the pen tool and the the Bezier curve tool, depending on the program you're using, designing this stuff really isn't super difficult. The pro and the con is when I do this by hand, I get one cut. That's it. When I do it in the plotter, I can cut it, recut it, size it, shrink it, move it, stretch it, do all sorts of stuff with it that you couldn't do with this. Once it's done, it's done. Which also has its, unique benefits. Cool. I think that's it. So now, what I could also do is I could paper cut this, and I can paper cut in loose stencil with the paper cut. Everything lines up because I transfer it from this image to here. Everything works. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to put another arc in here. That's not there. So I'm going to work again from lowest to blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to work from the background to the foreground, all right? So just like when I did the skull one last week, and I actually just cleared all those. They're all cleared, ready to go. I pull the furthest one in the back. And I want to get the background dark, and I want the koi to stay pretty bright. And, oops, I didn't cut here. And there you go. Now it's cut. And we'll go over the colors and stuff I'm using. So there we go. So basically I just pulled the furthest one out. There's a little piece of one here. And that's all in the background. Okay? Alright, let me see what we got going on here before I start painting. 21 likes now. Thank you guys. 55, 22 likes. Rising. Awesome. That's what we like to see. Share it. Talk about it. Mr. Watson's in the house on Facebook. How you doing, Jimbo? I think Scott and just stream together. Mr. Sweet's in the house. We're talking about that. We're definitely going to do that. Me and Steve have talked about it. We just got to find a way to do it. I loved it when they came out with the term microaggression. I was going to name my channel that. Right? That's awesome. Just scored 4x4 for powder coating panels for $4 a sheet. That's not too shabby. Cut them down. Shooting for details. Yeah. Coast Airbrush TV is in the house. How we doing, guys? All right. Let's see here. All right, so what we're going to do for colors here. Kelly, you can take down that FBS gold. We've already gone. Go to that. Bring up the reference image again. It'll be nice.
Where did you get that test spray paper dispenser?
Test. Oh, this is called the Airbrush widget. This was by Colin. I can never pronounce. I always flub his first name. If someone hasn't put it up there. But you can also get a newer version for the Vision Air system. this Visionaire system here that I use, this one, they actually make a newer plastic one. This was all aluminum. This was pretty expensive because look at the girth of the aluminum on this thing. But they make a new plastic one that mounts to the side of your Visionaire of the system, which is super, super cool. So you definitely want to look into that. Yep. So, yeah, this way you just turn it. All right, what I'm doing for colors, pretty simple. I am using Cratex Wicked Opaque Phthalo Blue is my main color. And I put a few drops of illustration black in it just because I wanted it a little richer, but just a few drops. And then I have a white that's mixed with the blue. That's going to be my kind of lighter tone. Okay. And then I also made a Caribbean Blue Candy 2.0, which I don't have the bottle in front of me here, as a wash color that I might use at the end. I don't know. Let's see, Pat Geens. Yeah, me and Pat, that'd be fun. I met Pat for the first time out of the last Airbrush Rendezvous. And man, such a great guy. No, that was at the Airbrush Art Circus. That was at Coast. So it was really good to meet him. He was super awesome. And speaking of that, we do have the Airbrush Rendezvous coming up. We already got people signing up for me and Rhino's class, so that's going to fill up pretty darn quick. So that is going to be in Anaheim, California in the second week of May 12th to the 15th out in Anaheim. So that's Airbrush Rendezvous. You can go to coastairbrush.com. If the guys at Coast Airbrush TV on YouTube want to post that link up there, and we'll go from there. Definitely want to sign up because that's going to fill up quick. I'm pretty sure it's going to be only Rendezvous this year. So that's going to be the only one. So definitely want to get in on that. All right, let's get painting. All right, I'm going to do this all in blue tones. So I'm going to wash the whole area with blue, very light. And this opaque layer is so nice. Yeah, YouTube, JC, YouTube is way better because it has the 4 cameras. And you can see all the images and the links. You won't see that stuff on Facebook, so click on that link and get over to YouTube side and you'll see all that. You know what would be cool, actually? I haven't used this one in a while. Do I have it? I want to use Dennis Matheson's bubble template. I haven't used this in ages. I'm going to put some bubble texture in the background. It was just Dennis's birthday the other day. So we're going to just put some bubbles, kind of texture in the background, and it'll just look really kind of cool. Right? Look at that. Just kind of simple and cool. Oh, did I miss a pull here? I think I might have. There we go. Kois always are forbid. If you're starting out, that's awesome.
Where did I put the pen?
So then what I'm doing, I'm going to hit where the drop shadows would be from the tail. I'm not going to go, if I go in much darker with it, I'll just do that, like I'll do that freehand or cut back in. But I'm going to establish this stuff now. And this koi will be more, it'll be a lighter blue tone than this background color, which I think will be a cool piece. and just so you guys know, we're going to be taking a little sabbatical next week from the feed. I won't be doing feed. Kaylee's on school vacation week. So we're just going to do some stuff around here, and I'm not going to focus on the feed, and I'm going to enjoy some time. So we won't be doing a feed next week, just so you are all aware. All right, next layer. So one thing you'll notice about all masking, it's not just FBS. This is directly on a metal panel that's just been scuffed. When you put this on there, this stuff sticks, fairly aggressive. Not aggressively pull paint, but more aggressive than if you put base color. Like if you put a base color sealer down or something, this stuff just slides right off like butter. But when it's just these metal panels, you'll notice any masking or tape or anything sticks a lot more. And then here. Cool. So we're just going to work our way around. So same thing. I'm going to work my way around this whole panel and go around.
Oh, do you want me to take the dates down?
Sure, yes. Take that down, put the reference image back up. Okay, kid. Just a little bit of bubble texture. Where do you get your metal panels? So what I do, I go to my local sign supplier, or you go to a sheet metal supplier, and I buy a 4x8 sheet because it's the most cost-effective way to buy it. And my supplier doesn't charge me per cut, so I just have them cut the 4x8 sheet into a bunch of 18 by 24 inch panels. So that way it's already ready to go for what I'm doing. And then what I do is from the 18 by 24, I cut that down. Do you get much residue with that yellow? No residue. No residue with any of the FBS masking. If you're getting residue, it's another problem. The only time I've gotten residue once with this is I prepped a panel, I based it, I cleared it with high-speed rocket clear. I sanded it an hour later and put the mask on. And the clear was still outgassing, so I had a little bit of a problem. But that's not the mask's fault. That's shouldn't have been trying to get that much mask on there that fast. See, same process, just work my way around, getting this really cool. Now, as I come, I'm not going to put bubbles on every piece. I'm going to, now that those two are kind of established, I'm going to do less. I'm going to come right out of it. And again, this is that opaque phthalo blue from Createx, a little bit of reducer, a couple drops of black to get this tone. I want to do this. And there we go.
Did you see Armando's question?
But what?
How should I prep my panel that's made of galvanized steel?
I wouldn't use galvanized steel. Galvanized is kind of a pain to paint. Doesn't like to get paint on it. That's kind of the whole point of galvanized. So if you're going to be using galvanized, what I would do I would sand the heck out of it. I would probably use an adhesion promoter, like a Bulldog or something like that, or an etch primer, like what Barker's saying, and go from there. But I typically stay away from galvanized. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of it. Like I said, I try to stay away from it. Oops, I didn't cut that whisker. But other than that, once you get primer to stick to it, then you're good to go, just like any other metal panel. And just like I did with last week's piece, my goal is to get this masking off as fast as possible so the real fun can begin, and freehand and shade. That's always the best part. Let me see if anyone's still over on Facebook side, because I can't see the chat. Oh, so according to Ryan Francis, who's from Coast Airbrush, just so you guys know who are on the Facebook, on the YouTube side, our automotive graphics class, being random class, is already a third filled. Okay, we just announced it like 2 weeks ago. So if you're thinking about taking that, I definitely get on it soon. I don't mind doing the drop shadow here because these are steps. The next drop shadow is going to jump off anyway, so it's gonna be on different planes. So it's cool to do it now and not have to worry too much. Yeah, I haven't done a koi in a while. Last time I did a koi was that one Chris Garcia got. That's the last time we did the Airbrush Art Circus in Orlando is where we did that one. Oh, the last time I painted, actually I think that was one of the last times I painted a koi. Yeah, my kind of go-tos, I had 3 choices tonight. Guyver was one of them, Simon. But I didn't want to do that just out of the blue. I want to play on that one. I was either going to do an octopus skull, a regular skull, or a koi. Was like, those are my kind of go-tos on last minute, because I can, usually pull them off pretty much easier than everything, just because it's kind of my comfort zone. I don't need to just want to take Scott's class. Thanks, Chris. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I love doing kois. I did a class a long time ago with one, and then I just really got into drawing them. I just really started to enjoy the flow and working with them, and then the history behind them. And I do have a really bitchin' print. I have one of the kois I did on McKay Fine Art was a piece I call Transcendence, and it's like a magenta. in like a teal blue background koi. That's a really cool piece. And that prints are gone. I have G-Clay canvas prints available of that one on McKay Fine Art. The Koi Master. I wouldn't say I'm a Koi Master, man, but I've always, like I said, the tattoo style one I always loved, and then I started drawing so many, I kind of got my own style to it, which is, I guess, it's kind of cool. I've been meaning, to do a whole collection. I got the big, that big Koi painting back.
150.
Thank you, sir.
It was blue.
I got that big Koi painting in the background. That's actually a 4-foot canvas that I've been working on. I haven't touched it in a while, but that's going to come up eventually for sale.
Yeah, blue bid 150.
Thank you, Blue. Oops. That double cut. See that double cut I did? Almost forgot about that. And then pull this, and the background's just about done. Whoops. I pulled the outline. Oh, you know what? That's actually kind of cool. I'm going to leave it like that. So this water will just like the Cad Bane painting, in one corner of it will just go over the edge like that. And this will actually kind of come up, and this will be the water. So it'll keep this a lot lighter. I think this will be cool. Make it a little bit more freehand and give it that water kind of feel. No, that's one thing you don't want to hear Dr. say during the exam. Yeah, oops. Yeah, no. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Use my pocket graphics just to manipulate the wave a little bit. But I don't want to put a lot in here. I don't know if anyone saw that. Got rid of that little bugger.
I hate them so much.
Yeah. I'm going to thin this paint a little bit more.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most annoying thing.
Thin the paint a little more. There we go. I don't want the paint to cover as.
Filters is here.
Who do we got? Fisheye Filter. What's going on, buddy? Fisheye Filter, one of our generous sponsors. There is Mr. Ken's Fisheye Filter. Still love that new logo design, man. Gerald knocked that out of the park when he did that. Just freehanding that water. Just a little shading. I can do a little erasing, and I'll go back in with some highlighting at the end.
Stink bugs or ladybugs?
No, no, they are not.
Not stink bugs or ladybugs.
Yeah, we get we get some ladybugs here. Not a bad
I don't mind
amount.
the ladybugs nearly as much.
The stink bugs, yeah, they're big in this area.
They're the most annoying. They're loud when they fly too. That's what gets me too.
Yeah,
It's like creepy how loud they are.
Yeah, they're
I hate them.
awesome when they land on you.
And like if you like try to like touch
What
them
reduction are you using tonight? So I started with I think my initial was 5-10%, and then I just added a little bit more till I like it. There is no magic reduction. You pretty much you find what you like and work with it from there. You start with that 10% as kind of your mix, and then from there you want to cocktail it to how you like it. We need a UK distributor. Hey, Kenny, do you guys have anyone in the UK for fisheye filters? It's got, how do you do bid your bike? What?
I think you meant like
How do I price up my work?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing it long enough where I started keeping track years ago about how long certain things take. Okay, so I have a good idea on how long certain types of jobs are going to take me. I know I have kind of a set pricing, not totally set, but I have a rough pricing for like prep. You know, if it comes in with an existing color and we're going to prep and use it, that's one. You know, we go from prep to artwork. I give a price for that. If we're doing a full color change on a bagger, like a full dress Harley, bagger full dresses right now in our area run anywhere from like $2,500 to like $4,000 for a full color change. Now that's sand it, primer, sealer it, change the color. Now with the candy, it's more. There's a few variations after that.
Also,
Then I add artwork time on top of that.
Also, Armando, what is the size of the panel?
This panel is a 10 by 12, 10 wide, 12 tall. This is my white. I'm going to do this now, which this white isn't really white. I'm going to pop this off. See, it's pretty blue. Because I don't want to use pure white. I can go in pure white at the end and I can hit it if I want. But using pure white now would it would kill everything. But see, it looks really white there, and it's not. So I'm going to do this now. So if I run over here, I can come back in, and I can shade it. And drop shadow it ahead of time. Oops. Another oops. Cool. Dig in the background. Let's see. I won't touch a bagger for under 2,500. People think I'm crazy. No, I don't touch a bagger at all for the 2500. You know, like I said, color change, simple. A 2500 is a simple bagger, not a full dress ultra with all the thing, all the bells and whistles, and that's like a simple bagger. They're averaging more towards the 35, 4500, 55, 6 if it's a true candy, but it varies. There's always variables in it. But then I add my artwork time and what the artwork's going to take, and give it my best estimate and go from there. And remember this, and this took me a while to learn. It's an estimate. It's not an invoice. Invoice comes when you finish the job. An estimate, what you think it's going to take. It's custom. We're not Mako. I'm not doing the same job over and over again. It's custom. So just like a plumber coming to your house when you break a pipe, they give you an estimate what it's going to take, and you pay the bill at the end, no matter what it is. The longer you do it, the easier it is to kind of come up with your own, your own guidelines. All right, I'm gonna start working on the koi. Start working him up, and I'm just gonna go again. I'm working from background to foreground. Okay, there's the fin. Good to know. I've been asked a few times. Spray outs are extra. What is a bagger? A bagger is a full dress Harley that has the saddlebags and stuff on it. That's what we call a bagger. As opposed to a regular, Street Bob style bike or a Tankett Defender, Fat Boy bike. A bagger has saddlebags and a windscreen, big front fairings and things like that. Out here we call them baggers. It's an AH. Right? Right, Steve? Steve knows. And this is where, see, pocket graphics come in really handy. Just gonna do those little things there. And I am gonna give this paint a little bit of a shakedown because I've been blowing a lot of pressure through it, and I think I got a little tip dry. So what I'm going to do is I am going to dump the paint. And then you have Fido. Well, yeah, I mean, Fido's work is, you start with that, say 4,000 to 5,000, in prep, in base color, and then it's however many hours you work on it for artwork. The red bagger I did a couple years ago, I had, it was like $14,000 worth of time because of the artwork time. I had 120 hours of just airbrush time, on top of prep, clear, polish, body work, blah, 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 everything else that went with it. So, yep. It's time and money. If any of y'all think we're getting rich off this shit, you're sorely mistaken. This is not the industry if you're thinking that's what it's going to be. Cool. There we go. So now, so what I just did, I strained the paint, cleaned everything out, and got it working again. It's paint. It is not perfection all the time. It's just going to work. There's always things that require a little fussing with, especially when you're working with this size brush. Okay, there's the fin. We do it for love. Fido gets a ton. Yeah, Fido gets to because of the artwork time. It's, it's just like, look, I price it like this. It's like a tattoo. The longer you sit in the chair, the more money you're paying. You know, if you want less detail, it's going to be cheaper. You know, and I explain it like this to some customers too. It's like getting a custom kitchen done. Okay, you can get, you know, stamped Formica that looks like granite, or you can get granite from 10 feet away. It looks great, but you know, you'll know the real difference when you get up close to it. So what do they value? Now, if a customer doesn't value that time, then they're not going to spend it because they don't value it. Just like if you don't value granite, you're not going to spend the money for granite or marble. This is a 0.18 airbrush. So the 0.18s definitely get more finicky. Want the paint to be thinner. So definitely got to mess with it a little bit more. Like I said, I wanted to do something fun and light tonight. Something not too crazy. Just because I was doing those bikes all day. And then tomorrow I get to spend the day wet sanding and polishing everything. That's always the fun part. Yeah, being very sarcastic, because no, it's not. Yeah, this is the 0.18 Takumi. You know, so I'm really trying to keep the koi pretty light. You know, like some of the ones, like I'll get baggers in here. Sorry, I'll get baggers in here that we're using existing color. We're only painting artwork on like the fairing in the tank and a little here and there, and they'll be more reasonable. But like anything, it's priced as I go, and you know, so we give them an estimate and we see what sticks. So I'm just shading this stuff, and I'm going to come back in and I'll freehand darken a lot. We'll highlight at the end. I'm just getting the base structure in. Slinging compound all over the shop, exactly. You know, since I started switching to the Rupus system, I use a lot more of their orbital stuff. And even their rotary, I don't sling around the shop anymore, which is really nice. Because no, I never like doing that. I love to wet sand. You know, so here's the thing. If like this week, I spent the beginning of the week doing all the designs and everything else. I don't mind wet sanding to a point. You know, I'll just, you know, you kind of get in the groove, you get the mindset, you just go and get it nice, and you know. But if I was doing it every week, I like all the time, I'd go nuts. If I was a little careful or when I was kind of tacking things off last night, like the one I did tonight, I'll barely have to buff that thing. Is like 2 little dust nibs in it. The skull one, I had a little bit more than that, but I just wasn't careful when I did it, so it's my bad. There we go. Hey Kayla, I want you to bring up the reference image again. I know we're doing a fish, but we don't have to have the fisheye filter logo the whole time. I'm not that technically advanced. No, that's the skull. Oh, the big skull. Yeah, you got the pack of skull one. Yeah, that's cleared. I'm just gonna give that a buff, and we'll take pictures. We'll take some pictures of it. We'll get that out. Get all these panels out of here. Get this batch out. We'll do these gills. We're gonna pull each one. Cool. If only someone would come. Yeah, that's tell me. Do you want factory Harley finish? You can get as much orange peel as you want. They leave it on there.
What do you use for ventilation when you're spraying in your studio?
So in here, I just have a fan ventilation that goes out. In my shop, I have full fan systems. But here in the studio, I have nothing on right now, just because if I turn the fans on, you won't be able to hear me. I've literally sprayed a cap full of paint at this point, so it's just easier and quieter for me to not use anything at this point. Which is the nice thing about water-based at this level, is it's so minor. I don't really have to worry too much about it. Yeah, for the body, it's just a little coarse shadowing. Put a little detailing in here, just a little. It's a sweat sign, even though we got flashlight sign. Yeah. Alright, so I got you. Alright, there's this. Get the rest of the body done so we can pull the main fin and detail that. I should have brought my, I have a cool stencil for doing texture, doing like the scales. But you know what also works good, because these guys usually have some patterns in their body. So I'm just going to use some Gerald Mendez texture, and we'll just put a little bit of markings on it. See that? Just give it a little bit of something. I just sit back, paint fumes. Well, you're not gonna get high on water-based, and it's really not. I see what happens with the guys that do that for the years, and it ain't pretty, man. You know, and when I'm using solvent in like House of Color, that's all done full ventilation. Like you saw when I was clearing that stuff, that's in a full booth. It's not in a, it's not in a garage. It's done the way it's supposed to be done, and by doing that, the work comes out a lot better. that way as well. So. Details. You got the hand, the short lever. Nice. Start using it the way it comes stock. Get used to it that way, and then try the spring, and then try the trigger. I prefer the factory trigger over the short. The short's a cool trigger. I don't like it as much based on how I paint. So I use a lot more of the trigger throw. So I wasn't a fan of the low ride triggers. But it's like I said, they're awesome. It's just a preference thing. What kind of clear paint do professional sign companies use? So when I used to do sign work, a lot of the big signs are done with Matthews 2-part epoxy is what a lot of the big sign work was done in. We also, when we're doing Lexan signs, we're using a paint called Grip Flex, which was like made for Lexan. There's different uses in the sign industry. There's different requirements depending on the sign job. Certain union, if it's a union job site, like one of the shops I work with was a union shop, and you had to use either Matthews or Grip Flex because they were union supported. You couldn't use just anything you wanted. Just like even vinyls. When I did vinyl work for the airport, they wanted to see the backside of the vinyl to make sure it was, I think it was either Avery or 3M at the time. Had to be those. You couldn't be using like Oracal or anything else because they basically kick you off the job site. They would, not that, but, the designers would also spec out the jobs based off whatever brands they wanted you to use because they had all the color palettes and things like that. But it depended on the job. No matter what, these still come in handy. These guys right here. Still come in handy. I didn't do the painting on the smart one. Did anyone else notice the Detroit City layout? I did not notice it. I watched the game. I didn't actually watch the game. I was out to dinner that night. We watched some stuff afterwards, like the halftime show, and I just watched it back on YouTube. So all this has been done with this one color. You use Avery. I like Avery. I think, I don't think 3M's any better. Especially in vinyl application. In wrap world, like in wraps, the 3M's the best stuff. It really is. What I've found. But for like vinyl application, I always stuck with Avery. I always like their paint mask too. Until I started using FBS's. When I was originally started, FBS didn't have a mask till we got together and started working on it. Not bad for an hour. We're into it an hour. Our mask is almost off. And we got some bids on this. We're at 150 still. show on YouTube caught my attention. Oh, okay, cool. That's nuts for an hour. What am I missing? What's nuts for an hour? Oh, that. Cool. Okay, let's get the rest of this stuff off here. Simon, I'm surprised you're making it this long, man. Oh, Elijah Craig Bourbon, that's good. Tonight I'm just doing makers, just little makers tonight. Elijah's really good though, it's good stuff. And after this, all the mask will be off. Except for the eye, we'll leave the eye to the very end. Alright, what do we got here? Is this the same koi as the print? No, this is totally different. The koi print that was available. So yeah, so this was the Transcendence Koi. This was a sketch. This was actually one of the original sketches of it. And you can get this in a print. And then that's the actual painting. Not the actual. This is the print. This is the G Clay print of that one. These are available on McKayFineArt.com. But that's this big boy. This is a nice high-end canvas print. Got a few more of these left. They're signed and numbered. And we got these guys. I think they're like $10 for the prints of the actual sketch. Nope, I never paint the same koi twice. I was wondering where you went, Blue. Yeah, okay. I think Blue's still the high bidder.
Yep, 150.
She's at 150. She's being quiet.
Everyone's being quiet.
Stop being quiet, damn it. Oh, look who snuck up here.
What are you doing?
Willow has arrived.
I got her.
No, I got her. Come here. Willow's never been on the live feed.
Will, get out of frame, please.
Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, where is she? Ah, she can't. She's too big. Hold on. Oh, there she is. This is Willow. This is the one we take pictures of all the time. And she snuck up here and she wasn't supposed to. Right? You weren't supposed to. No. You're not supposed to be here. But she is. You want to paint? Alright. Time to go.
I'll go close the door.
Get her out.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's her.
Go. Go. Down the stairs.
No, I don't do that.
Walk down the stairs.
I'm professional. I know just how much we can drink. Yes, just about time for the electric eraser. Start doing some details. And we'll start doing some more shading, some other stuff. And I'll get a darker color out. Yeah, she's awesome. She's a good dog. She's an awesome rescue we got. She just turned 5. Both. Professional at both. I like them. The opaques are nice. I like the coverage on them. They reduce They reduce really well. I'm actually surprised at, what I can do with them as far as how opaque they are, and then I can how far I can stretch them out and thin them down without them getting grainy. Because a lot of times opaque colors, if you try to reduce them down too much, they get grainy, and then that's not fun if they get too grainy. Okay, so now I'm going to switch. Which color? Oh no, this is the same color, and I just added some more black to it, okay? So now that I got all my base, and see how that color right here, let's see if I can zoom in on that. This is going to look crappy for a second. But I'm going to zoom in and focus so you guys can see up tight, close, and then I'll bring that camera back on when it cycles back in. So this is that same color. I added more black to it, another 5%. And I'm going to... I know it's kind of counterintuitive. I should have done the beginning with this brush. And I might actually switch paints to the micron for this darker color, but So now I'm trying to pull some lines. So I don't mind having a slightly bigger airbrush for this, because I can pull some lines a little bit, bolder than I can with the Micron. At least the way these are set up right now. We'll do this, we'll get that heavy shade. See how just really just that little bit of coarse shadow dropping in, just radius it off. Let everything kind of really pop out and look good. We'll hit some of these darks here. And drop the pressure a little bit. Well, I am going to switch this paint. Darken this up and go to the Micron. And do the details. Okay, I love how Scott seems to wave the brush around. He's putting out a fire. Yeah, I move around. I do move around a lot, so I get it's hard to watch a little bit. That kind of goes back to my t-shirt days, where we just like really moved around the board, and I bounce around. That's kind of my ADD, where I just bounce around. So anyone try the skull tattoo route yet? I know if you guys downloaded it. I haven't seen anyone wrap it up yet, so I'm curious. To see if anyone's messed with it. I did record the finish of that. I'm editing it now so I can get that up soon, but I put the finished pictures on the store of the painting so you guys can see it. I haven't got that one yet. I need to finish the ones I'm working on. I bought emerald green candy. Oh, cool.
Do candy work only on the metal, or they work just as well on other substrates?
Oh no, yeah, candies work on everything. Think of candies, they're just a translucent color. Whereas they're not, so you have opaque colors, which are high coverage. Okay, then you have, you know, transparent colors, which are colors that you can see through, but they will eventually cover up, or you know they're fairly strong. They'll cover the color. Candies are translucent, which means they take on whatever is underneath it. They'll take on the characteristics of that color. So if I put green candy over blue, I'm gonna get like an emerald green or like a teal. If I put yellow over blue, it doesn't stay yellow. It takes on whatever's underneath it. But no, candies. You know, as an automotive painter, the candies were key. You know, that was something that Craig did. He's really got everyone, you know, back in the day to really look into candies. And you know, Dave at Coast, they were making the kits, and you could it was made it a lot easier. They weren't the first ones to do candy, but you know, they really showed us how we could really use it, and basically started that whole kind of trend. 68 people, only 38 likes. Yeah, man, get on there and like this stuff. Or if you hate it, maybe they dislike it. I don't know. Whatever, I don't care. I just paint. Like, I already forgot about what I painted today. That felt like yesterday now. But tomorrow I get to buff it all. I won't forget it then. Anyone in Massachusetts want to come polish stuff? You know you do. You know, a lot of times, like, you know, Daryl Sargent will do a lot of my clear and polish on stuff, and we work together on a lot of projects, and he's laid up now with a back injury, so can't rely on him. Thanks, Daryl. I hope he feels better, because that sucks when you get a back injury. Oh, let me bring up this close-up cam now here. Yeah, so see how this dark's really starting to bring it? It's starting, you know, by pushing that back, and it's not solid black, it just pushes that into the background more. And if I come into here, I can push a little bit of that back. And really just start working this painting. Okay, now this is the candy blue. So I'm going to wash this and watch what this does. Let me see. I'm going to go... Yeah, you get a double image, but... This is the tint. So this will tint everything to the same kind of blue. It's not necessary, but watch. See how much brighter that gets in here? It actually richens and enhances what's underneath it. That's the beautiful about our candy. It like just wakes everything up a little more. So 9:30, we're getting close to the end, kids. I'm wrapping this up in a little bit. We'll probably finish it just before 10 o'clock. So if you're thinking about doing some bids, you want to get them in soon. Right now we're at $150 on this. At least last time I checked. Alright, let's pull up. Can you do me a favor and grab that? My micron just hit the floor. And let's see if I destroy the needle or not.
Hope not.
Okay.
I think it landed on its side.
Nope, it hit the floor. But she's still working. Look at that. Still working. Hey, look, it's working better. Takumi falls off the bench, hits the carpet, still keeps on ticking. Look at that. Sorry if I'm ignoring anyone who's still on Facebook. I just can't see.
There's been nothing for almost 30 minutes.
Okay, good. Exactly. Lay's still here. Or did he just was he been quiet the whole time?
Lay's been here since the start.
So I didn't know if he left. Sometimes he leaves.
That's true.
So I do the same thing to him. I pop in and I pop out. I pop in, pop out. It's 6 o'clock. I'm still working. A little bit of texture in the skin. Sometimes things work better after you whack them a couple times. It's true. Take the snootiness right out of them. Take that, Micron. I'll throw it on the floor just like any other airbrush. You'll like it. I don't recommend that. Just saying. Gerald Mendez would be crying right now. No!
How many 533s did you get through?
That's the Steve.
Oh, I was like, I don't know. I have no clue what that is.
Little details in the skin. Shade. Now let's get some erasing. So let's do.
It's an Eric Clapton scratch. Oh, Steve Barker said he dropped his and it landed needle first on the top of his foot.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
That's.
So we'll get some detail in here. Give it that nice texture that only you get from racing. Like I could use white paint, but this gives it a unique look. So you can get that eye texture. Don't worry, I'm going to go back in with that kind of white blue color and highlight it some more with that. This is just to give it some grit. And you can soften that up with an eraser stick, see that? not too bad for an hour and a half. If I do say so myself. So now with the white, I can go in here, because it's not really white, it's got that blue. And I can start softening some things out. I can put little details like under the skin here. But if I was using pure white here, it'd be almost too much. Yeah, Steve's gonna keep me posted next time he's coming back up to Boston area. You know, I want to make this fin look transparent by showing this. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna hit that end of it. See how what I just did there? It makes it look like it's shadowed, but I didn't put the shadow color. I just brightened up the fin on this side. It just makes it look transparent. What's up?
No, it was just something Steve said.
What did Steve say?
There was a bot.
Oh.
He said out of pocket stuff he bought.
Yeah, I'm digging this one. I've always liked working in blues. I like working in purple. Fraser got me working in purples because he always did those demos in purples. And when I was coming up, I mimicked him a lot. So I always got into that. But man, just like my pencil sketches, I always like working in blue. I always like painting in blue because there's the pencil sketch. And there's the painting. Pencil sketch, painting. Sketch, painting. Soften up that. By going back over this whitish blue now, I can soften some of this stuff and make, the fins look a little bit more wispy. And I am going to go to a pure white in a little bit and hit those finals.
He's still trying to figure. Carl said he's still trying to figure out what a bus looks like.
What's that? What?
About the bot. He's still trying to figure out what a bus looks like.
Oh.
Steve said as soon as these 2 mega projects are done, he's heading home.
Oh, cool.
Which I assume means here.
Nice. Well, let's try to set something up. When you're up here, we'll do a daytime feed if we need to. We'll figure something out. Like I said, you're more than welcome to do your feed from my studio when you're up here. If you'd like to. We'd love to have you. Now just going back to some pure white. Fun fact, scientists generally agree that human... Interesting. What do you spray on the panel before you start painting? Nothing on this one. This was just a white aluminum panel, so it's already enamel coated white. And that's why the mask sticks really hard to it, just because it's so super smooth. A lot of times, even if I'm on a white panel, I'll spray a white base down, just because I like working over base color better than working over the slick, metal. But it's kind of a preference thing, or just whatever you want to do with it. Usually I would seal this first with like a white sealer or a white base color. And actually the paint sticks very different. But yeah, the white sealer's awesome. A lot of times most of the paintings I do, they're over a sealer. Like the 6-pack of skulls painting was done over a gray sealer. That one last week was done over like a greenish sealer. And their silver sealer is freaking awesome, by the way. I love that Kratek silver sealer. Alright, let's get some brush work in, some final details. We're going to call this a night very soon. So right now we are at the current bid. This from Miss Blue.
It's at 150.
At 150. So I'm just gonna do some brush highlights in here, just to give it Silver Surfer. That'd be a fun to paint.
That could be fun.
Paint that over the Kratek's chrome. That would be fun. And I'd call up Tim. If you don't know, Tim Gore, amazing artist and sculptor, does a lot of movie effects. He's a good friend. He actually painted the Silver Surfer for the movie. Actually, he's done a lot of characters we've all watched. Sometimes a brush just gives it a very cool look that you can't get from an airbrush as much as you want. Some little details here. Some happy little details. The fin, get that worked out really good here. You get caught up again. Yeah, Tim Gordon is amazing. Amazing talent. You need a fro. No, I ain't doing a fro.
Yeah, that would not look good
No.
on you. I'm being completely honest.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Just being honest, I don't think it would work out well.
No, fro would not work out well. Yeah, there was a whole thing where he didn't like the fro either. He just had it because he couldn't afford haircuts, and it became iconic, and he could never change it. right, I think we are getting to the end of this. Last details. Gerald didn't show up tonight. Cutest catfish ever. Koi's are not catfish. What do you guys think? Is that getting pretty good?
Yeah.
And about at the end here?
Yeah.
Quarter of. Alright, get all your last minute questions, comments, bids, suggestions in. And like I said, we're going to be off next week. And we'll come back with a vengeance the week after that. Figure something cool out. You didn't spray any. No green. Again, Gerald shows up whenever I'm painting green shit. And then when I'm not painting green, he doesn't show up. Gerald probably thinks I only paint in green. Because every time he shows, that's all I'm using. Like last week, he showed up, I was painting green. I think he showed up with a Cad Bade painting. I was using sepia, but sepia has green in it. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate that. You know, if you guys like the Koi paintings, like I said, I have those prints. I got those big canvas prints. Definitely go check them out. This one I might actually photograph. This could make a nice print. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate that. Thank you for taking care of that page. That's really cool. Everyone can give Simon a big thank you, a round of applause for making the Airbrush TV Guide page and maintaining it, because that's, I think, really cool for everyone to have one place where it's all kind of made, you know, everything's updated and it's not all noise. So it's very cool. Thank you for all that work. I wasn't going to do it. I second the octopus. Yeah, octopus is coming. Yep, Gary, this is a trademark Koi. I rarely paint them, so. Doesn't mean we want to finish that big one now, though. Enhance these gills a little bit. The edge of the face here. And I think that is going to wrap it up. So if there are no final bids, then Miss Blue, this one's going to be for you. We'll get this mailed out. Let's take this off. And we'll sign this puppy up. And we are going to call it done. And I'm going to go and sleep. It was a long day.
Is it blue?
Yes. Congratulations, Blue. This one's yours.
Oh, Chris just put one in.
Oh.
We already said though.
We just capped it off. We just capped it off. I'm not going to do that to her. I was just saying it was going to her.
Oh, please went for 200.
Who did what?
Please went for 200.
Who did 200?
Blue.
Oh.
So, who's getting it anyways?
Blue, I already said it was yours at 150, so...
That's the downside to it being delayed.
Yeah, there's a slight delay, but you can only...
We're just gonna go with the 150, right?
Yeah.
I will put that in the comments so people can see it and stop bidding. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, so this one's going to Blue. And I'm gonna sign this puppy. And plus, Blue already did the $20 super chat too. That, kids, is the done piece. I actually like how that came out. That came out cool with that shadow. You know, I gotta put a little bit. I gotta put a little shadow here. So it looks like it's popping over the edge a little bit. Maybe a little bit down here. And that is going to wrap up this feed. Thank you all for checking it out. I will see you all in a couple weeks, a week after next. And we will do... Whoops. Come on. There we go. Well, thanks everyone for checking out. Thanks everyone for the comments, bids, the talking, discussions. Hope you enjoyed this one that I kind of pulled out of my... at the end of the day today, but I think it came out great and I enjoyed painting it. And I will see you all next week. Have a good evening. See ya.